Well, what's available for me? I want in. I want help. I want to be able to do this. Okay? So those types of things. Now, I want to share with you a little bit about Delio or Delio.pro. Okay? And I'm going to do a demonstration for you. So when I do the demonstration, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to zoom out. So you'll be able to see on the software tool in and out. If I don't do that, you won't be able to see it. You're going to kind of lose track. So to start with, I'm going to share with you some slides about Delio to show you what it does in a broad space here, what it does. And then I'm going to show you a few of the featured items on Delio as well. I want to show you a deal analyzer. I want to show you a rehab planner connected right with a Home Depot, connected with all the documents for your contractor. I want to show you how to find property that would be off-market property. We talked about finding cash buyers yesterday. I want to show you how you could power match a property in any city in the country and how I could power match from here to cash buyers there on a property, whether that be a community of cash buyers or my individual cash buyers list. So something that you've never seen before, and I will tell you this, when you see this, then you're going to say, I need that, I want that, how do I do that, right? So let me share with you a little bit about Delio.pro and how this works. And I'll just click on some slides, and you may not see me very much. You'll hear my voice, okay, but you may not see me just for a couple minutes as I click on a few of these different slides. So how does it work? All right, so on the slide it says this. What are the two problems that every real estate investor faces? What are the two problems every investor faces? Number one, not enough sellers and buyers and or private lenders. There's one problem, not enough sellers, buyers, and lenders. And then number two problem is simple systems, how to get them, how to bring them to me. Those are the two main problems, sellers, buyers, lenders, and then how to get them to come to you. Okay, so what we're going to cover today is this. Secret number one, hidden property data, like a private investor MLS. Hidden property data, okay? I want to cover that with you. And then secret number two, how to convert your leads into profitable real estate deals even on a tiny budget. So how do we do both of these items? What we're going to cover today is secret one, secret number two, okay? There are real estate deals everywhere. Now, when I do searches, it's going to put like, I just want to say bubbles or balloons or colors above certain properties. Now, when you're driving home, you're not going to see the colors and the balloons, but they're there. See, this is the difference. An investor like me, I would see red for pre-foreclosure and blue for cash buyer and purple for foreclosure, and I would see those, not literally floating above the house, but I could see those on my screen, okay? So just like you see here, these are all red items. There's red buttons or red balloons above certain properties on a map, okay? So what did you make on your last real estate deal? When was your last real estate deal? What did you make on that deal? How much did you profit from that deal? Not selling your house, on your last real estate flip. Was it $30,000? Was it the national average gross profit of $62,700? What did you actually make and why not? Why didn't you make that much? Why didn't you make that on your last real estate deal? The reason why is we didn't have a system that was predictable, reliable, and repeatable. So I want to show you predictable, reliable, duplicatable, or repeatable process. Okay, so let me show you the difference. So you can see the difference between a secret engine that drives Lee's multi-million-dollar real estate business. This is a tool that Lee uses. This is a tool called Delio. He uses Delio and Cenfuse on a daily basis. Those two connect with each other. You're going to see how both of them work right here. Okay, so this is Delio.pro. Now, I know several of you, I talked with Wyatt, I talked with Rob, I talked with Jamin, and several of you are like, hey, I really like that Cenfuse thing, and you're really going to like the Delio item as well, because you're going to see how they connect together, how I could manage together, how I could find properties before I go out and use Cenfuse on properties. Okay, so again, this is included in their ultimate package. This one's called Delio, and included in their ultimate package with all of it. Now on its own it would be a separate price, but in the package it's different. Okay, so let's do this, okay? I want to cover with you the life cycle of a deal. And it may be kind of small on your screen, but it says step number 1, I got to be able to generate leads. So you and I, we're going to generate leads. I'm going to tell the tool what I'm looking for. I'm looking for single family homes in a certain zip code or a certain city in a certain price range or a certain square footage, okay? Then I'm going to be able to analyze the deal. So I can analyze that right off of Delio, and it will give me a score, like an artificial and AI score, a computer learning score, okay? Then I can learn how to make offers. Delio has contracts, SendFuse I can send right off of my phone to make offers. I could then market the deal. So both Delio and SendFuse have campaigns like direct mail campaigns and marketing pieces and letters and computer bots that would write the letter, whatever you want to write, or already a pre-written letter as well, okay? Step 5, but how do I fund the deal? Directly through SendFuse and directly through Delio. You could fund the deal directly with Kogo Capital, okay? Step 6, if you're going to rehab the property, I mean, that would be the next step. Or you could wholesale the property to a cash buyer, of which I could find all the cash buyers in that area, and I could even power match them as well, okay? You see where it says step 7. We could, if we're not fixing it to sell it, we could fix it and rent it for our mailbox money, or we're going to sell it after our fix for our profit on our fix and flip, okay? Can I do all those things in one place? Not use multiple different applications? The answer to that is yes. I can do that all using Delio, okay? So first let's talk about the different types of leads that we could generate. Delio.pro has super list. Now, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to go quickly on the slide, then show it to you live on the screen, a little zoomed in closer in just a moment. So Delio.pro has super list. With our multi-dimensional filtering, you can now layer multiple lead types on top of one another to create a super list. So instead of just saying I'm looking for vacant property, I can search and say I'm looking for vacant property that's an absentee owner that's in pre-foreclosure, and make a super list. I'm looking for property that's high equity that's in pre-foreclosure in this square footage, so I can make a super list. You've never seen anything like it. In a matter of seconds I can save searches and make super lists, okay? The organic data, which is a fancy way of saying it's updated daily, okay, and consistent development of the data so I don't get old data, okay? You could also what they call Delio.pro lead scoring, okay? So dramatically increase my, quote, win percentage and rates and reduce costs using Delio.pro's predictive lead scoring software. This is where that artificial, the AI score comes in. So it's going to give you 3 separate scores. Now you've never seen that before, and I'll show it to you briefly here, an AI score, okay? There are 18 different lead types. So a lead type would be like a pre-foreclosure is a lead type, a cash buyer is a lead type, an absentee owner is a lead type, a private lender is a lead type, somebody in bankruptcy is a lead type, okay? So there's 18 different kinds, and I could layer them or just search for individual. Like last night we searched just cash buyers, okay? So I'll click quickly through these because some of them are self-explanatory. An absentee owner, right? We'll make this one real simple. It's a property owner who does not live in the property. So it could be a rental, it could be a second home, a property they inherited, but it's an absentee owner, they don't live in the property. An active listing listed on the MLS. It's for sale. Bankruptcy, we've got access to this. Now the bankruptcy item again creates motivated sellers. So these are searches that you could now do to find properties or motivated sellers, okay? Bored investor. What's a bored investor? A bored investor is a landlord who's owned a property or a subject property for a certain amount of time, okay? A cash buyer. Owners who have paid cash for their property, whether that be individual, trust, or an entity of a business, okay? A flipper. So one of the lead types is a flipper. a real estate investor. So the reason why I want to be able to search flippers is this. If I can search who's flipping property, I know who's doing deals. Okay, I could flip wholesale deals to them, but also a flipper needs money. So if I could flip a property, I could also to them, I could also introduce Kogo capital to them as well. Okay, so that would be the reason why I want to find out who a flipper is. Foreclosures, properties that have gone through a foreclosure process. Okay, free and clear, properties who are owned free and clear that have no mortgage. Okay, you see where it says high equity properties. So these properties have a loan to value of 60% or less. Okay, a long-term owner, people have occupied a property for the last 30 years. They're going to call that a long-term lead. Okay, low equity means they have 20% equity. Doesn't mean that's bad, because the property could be an $800,000 property at 20% equity is still a big number. Okay, potentially inherited lead type or lead pipe. These properties have been identified as properties that were potentially inherited from parents to children or from spouse to spouse. Now, the importance of that is that can be a motivated seller. Think about the number of people that inherit properties. They don't want to become a property owner and rent a property of their dad's house in a different state. They need money now. So these are searches that change the game, because you could now find these properties where before you were driving around looking for ugly houses, and here I could create a list, super list of certain types of properties here. Pre-foreclosure. These properties are going through, they've received the notice of default. Okay, that's a section that we'll do a search on. Renters, people who are currently renting. They may want to buy. I could help them with a loan here again, or help them with a property. Properties that are upside down that we can maybe do a short sale on. Okay, vacant property. These are all different lead types. Vacant property. So these properties have been identified as being vacant. No one living in the property. So that could be a search that we could do a super list on. You see where it says zombie properties, which we've never talked about, but a zombie property in this particular Delio.pro is a property that is in pre-foreclosure and is also vacant. Well, what a wonderful opportunity that would be if I could search zombie properties and I could find the AI score that's a high score. So you're not even sure where to go look, and I did a search that would take me 30 seconds, and I could find a vacant property that's in pre-foreclosure that has a high score of wholesale or fixed flip, and I could find that in a matter of seconds versus where do I go next, right? It gives me a huge advantage once again. Private lenders, it would show me all the different private lenders. So they can also do geocoded searches, and I can search the exact areas or neighborhoods, so I can zoom in on an area. I can type in a zip code, right? So different owner types. I could type in individual owners, financial, government, business, or trust, or I could layer those as well. Okay. Property types. I could search single family, duplex, land, mobile home, multifamily, or all the above, or be just specific to just condos or just townhouses. People data. So I could access private lenders, renters, flippers, and bankruptcy data. I could also analyze the deal, which I'll show you a quick deal analysis. I don't want to bore you with a bunch of numbers on the deal analysis, but I can do a deal. And before I do any deal, I want to look at the end result numbers. So even if I make an offer, I'm going to go back and do a deal analysis. And I'll run through the deal analysis right through Delio.pro, and you'll see how that's done, right? So the deal analyzer could be fix flip, buy, hold, or lease option, and it would give me every calculation. So it will take into account all the closing, it'll take into account depreciation, it'll take into account rent increase, everything that I actually submit to it, okay? So deal analyzer, all the different features here. I can access property tax assessor data. So I'll show you some of these where it shows me who bought the property, when they bought the property, what loan they got, what year they got it, when they transferred a warranty deed, what type of a deed it is. There's different types of deeds, okay? Deed and mortgage data, notice of defaults, all those items. Know your rehab cost. So it's directly linked with Home Depot, okay? So then I could do a rehab planner item on here. So let me show you this live in action, okay, at Delio.pro. Oh, by the way, it also has all these marketing features. So it does, we could click a button, we could link it to Facebook marketing. We could also do direct mail marketing. It also gives us access to multiple different websites. They've already created an ebook. They've already created the websites. I just have to give it a name. They've created an ebook with an email drip campaign. So I could now drop a pod in the water. So to use like a deadliest catch, they drop pods in the water trying to catch certain types of items. And sometimes they pull out their pod and there's nothing. And sometimes they pull out their pod and it's full of a whole bunch of crab. Okay? So same thing here. While we're talking or while we're on a bus tour for an hour with Lee, I could build, click, drop a pod or drop a website, if you will, in the water specific to investors or specific to buyers or specific to certain types of buyers with an ebook already pre-written with an email drip campaign to gather their data and then email back. I mean, there's not a bigger master of e-lane than Lee and his team. I've received hundreds of emails from them about specific things that their company does. They do direct mail campaigns. So these are all things that they actually can do. Here's a full marketing library. They've got them in different colors, different postcards, different letters, different items this way. And I can set the whole thing up directly through Delio.pro, right? Their full website builder. Now there's so much to show you. I'm not going to be able to show all this to you in the next 45 minutes or so. But I do want to show you some live features of things that I would suggest that you do immediately once you have access to Delio, once you have access to contacts, once you have access to like their CRM. It's everything in one spot. So Senfuse does one thing. Delio does all of the database, all of the managing, all of the finding properties. Senfuse doesn't find properties. Delio can help me find properties in the super list. Senfuse would allow me to research and send offers directly off of my phone. So just quick little recap. Secret number one, hidden property data to close on my first or next real estate deal. And secret number two, convert my leads into profitable real estate deals even on a small budget, right? So let's do this. I'm going to log in live here and show you how you could use the same tool. Now, if you're not computer savvy, it's not that difficult. They've got hours upon hours of tutorials to help me understand. I am very familiar with the tools and the resources. So I've clicked on almost every single button. I'm going to show you on like a demo site here. I'm going to show you, we're going to search property. We search cash buyers already. We're going to search for other buyers. We're going to add buyers to our list. We're going to search for properties. We're going to build a website. We're going to do all those items in the next few minutes. Okay, so first thing we have to do is let's log in. Okay, so I'm going to log in, and again, you're going to see me right here, but you may not see me very much in the next little bit because I'm going to zoom in and out on specific buttons within the actual software tool. Now, Leah's going to do this as well on finding a couple of properties, then go visit properties. I'm going to show you some other cool features to say, have you realize, hey, are we even playing the same game? Like, you're driving for dollars and you're looking for houses, and I'm clicking a button and already eliminated the house. I've already seen what the AI score is. I'm already out, right? And you're still thinking it might be a really good deal. Right, so we could also search based upon Kogo Capital, and we can do a search based upon what they would lend to. So if I want to become a private money broker, and I'd like to help broker deals to Kogo Capital and flip properties to other flippers and rehabbers, then I could narrow my search down to specifics of what Kogo Capital would do in my market, right? So FHA Cap, which we did all that search yesterday right on Kogo Capital's website. All right, so let's actually log in, okay? And I'm going to log into Delio.pro. So you'll see on your screen, as I've already pre-logged in. I've logged in. This is what it looks like. Okay, and it says, and I'll zoom in and out here for you. It says every house has a story. All right, so you're going to notice on Delio.pro, you see, hey, where do you want to search? Now, if you didn't know what you're doing, it says where. Okay, where means type in an address, type in a zip code, type in a city, type in a county. Okay, where are you looking for houses? We can start there. Then it's going to ask me, what lead type did you want to search for? And we talked about the many different lead types, like absentee owners, cash buyers, pre-foreclosure. Okay. Then it says, what type of owner types? Now, yesterday we searched individuals, businesses, and trusts, because what we were looking for last night were just cash buyers. Today, if we're searching for properties, more motivated sellers might be just individuals. Maybe less businesses or trusts would be as motivated, so we might just search individuals. We then could search again by single family, condo, townhouse, multifamily, apartment, land, and or other items. So we'll narrow searches down by searching in these categories. Okay? So you're going to notice when you first log in, okay, and you'll have to type in who you are and type in your profile, and do you have a website, and do you have a Facebook link, and so fill in your content of your profile. So you see my profile. I've already filled in my profile over here. I'll explain what that little button or bubble means right here. Okay, and what I would suggest is once you fill in your profile, and there's a step-by-step tutorial of this. Once you fill in your profile, first thing I want you to do is I want you to add yourself as a contact, a cash buyer contact. Now remember, I mentioned the word power matching, and I want people to bring you properties. See that little red button right there? That means other people have sent properties to me because I have said I am a cash buyer and I am looking for properties that meet these specifications. I'll show you how to do it. Just like the MLS, just like you could tell your agent that you're looking for a house, that you're pre-qualified for a certain amount, and you want to look in a certain area, and it's got to be within this square footage and this type of neighborhood. Same thing. I have told this tool that I am a cash buyer and I am looking for certain properties that are in certain price range in a certain square footage. So now other people, that's what I mean by private investor MLS, other people can now send properties to me. They could wholesale properties to me without me having anything. So I can wake up in the morning, see right there, that little red dot, that little red button right there, and it says there's properties been brought to you. Okay, so let's do that. Let's actually add ourselves, and you're going to notice I'm on the left-hand side of the screen over here. You see dashboard, properties, contacts, lead flow. Let's get into contacts. First thing, and I'm going to have you write it down, for all of you that are taking action, all of you that are going to have access to Delio and Senfuse and access to resources and tools, the first thing I would suggest you do is once you fill in your profile, add yourself to the system as a tool, as a cash buyer. So I'm going to click where it says contacts. And I can keep in all my contacts here. So you're going to notice over here where it says contacts, type, and then it says sellers, buyers, unclassified buyers, commercial, investor. You keep all your, it's a one tool, keeps track of everything. In this case, you see where it says buyers, click the button where it says buyers. And what I'd like to do is I would like to add me or you. I'm going to add myself as a cash buyer. Now I've already done that. It says buyers, and here's a list of buyers. And my company on this was XYZ Properties. So I've already added this. Let me show you what I added. I'll click on the button where it says XYZ Properties. It pulls up the company, pulls up a photo. It's just a picture of my daughter who was just texting me a moment ago. And it says XYZ Properties is a 5-star buyer. Who gave them 5 stars? Oh yeah, I did. I gave myself 5 stars. Okay, so I'm a 5-star buyer. Okay, then you're going to see right here where it says you can do contact info, name, phone number. This is you. You see where it says preferences. So I'm going to add myself. Okay, so preferences. I've said I'm a cash buyer and these are my preferences. Just like you telling your real estate agent what your preferences are. My preferences are these. I will buy single family, duplex, threeplex, or fourplex. I'll buy those items. Okay, so I typed those in, and you could go down manufactured homes. I just said single family, duplex, threeplex, or fourplex. Okay, second question, it says what style of home, and you can search what styles of homes or buy any of them or all of them. Okay, you don't have to type in specific. It then says what type of a view. I mean, it gets very specific. So I said canyon view, city view, lake view, mountain view, valley view. About any view you got. Okay, waterfront, pool, jacuzzi, amenities, any other special features. Then over here it says what price range are you looking at? So this is my company. What price range will I buy properties in? Now, this is it. Just again, you might live in a price range area where it's really expensive. I'm just showing you for a demo. I chose $100,000 on the low end to $350,000 on the high end. So if anybody else sends a property to me, I'm only looking for between $100,000 and $350,000. Square footage has to be 900 up to 2,800 square feet. Now the reason why I did that was the Kogo box. 2 bedrooms as the minimum, 5 bedrooms as the maximum on this particular preference. 1 bathroom minimum, 3 bathrooms maximum. Year built, 1970 up to today, no maximum. Lot size, no minimum, up to 1/4 acre. So I put specifics to what I'm looking for. The reason for this is other people are going to search properties and bring them to me, okay, based on these preferences. Number of stories, nothing. Max HOA, I didn't put anything there as well. Then I go down the page, it says, what area are you looking in? Not the entire United States, but the country U.S. I chose the state of Washington. Okay, now you would choose your state. I chose the state of Washington on here. So you can choose multiple states. I chose one for our example. What county in Washington? You could type in your counties, type in zip codes in that county. You can be as specific as typing in neighborhoods, so you only get brought to you what you really want. What subdivision? I left that blank for now. It says search city by zip code, so I typed in Spokane. And then you could type in other cities within the counties that you're searching for. So the only properties that could be brought to you so you don't waste your time is exactly what you're looking for. When I get done with that, I'm going to click right at the very, very bottom where it says Save Info. I will click where it says Save All Info. It has saved me as a cash buyer. Now, here's what now happens. If anybody else on this system searches and finds properties that meet those specifications, I'll show you how they do it. They could match them to me. They could send them to me. And they would send them on an internal message directly through this system. And I'm going to wake up in the morning and there's going to be a little red dot right there that says, hey, there's a red dot. And that means other people have sent properties that meet my qualifications. Now, if you don't understand that, you don't think that's cool, what are you doing? What are you looking for? Are you driving around? How are you finding properties? I didn't do anything except for one time tell the tool what I was looking for, and it brought all the properties to me. That saved me time. Time is freedom. Now, they're not all going to be properties I want to buy, but they meet my specifications. They meet exactly what I said I was looking for. So that's why I said the first thing I would do is just add yourself as a buyer. Okay, now, after that, it depends on what game you're playing. So if you want to search for properties, let's search for properties. Realistically, I'd say let's make a list of cash buyers. We started to make a list of cash buyers last night, right? So let's do this. Let's come back over to the left-hand side, and we'll get back into the dashboard, contacts, lead flow. Let's just go down the page. Lead flow. Okay, so it says websites, direct mail, personally penned letters off of a computer bot or Mobi. So let's just click where it says websites. I'm going to do it really quickly here. Okay, I'm going to drop a pod in the water. It says I've got access to a whole bunch of different sites I could use for free. All right, so I'm going to come over here and say I want to add a site. I want to market myself. I'm going to click where it says add a site. When I click where it says add a site, it's going to ask me, do you want to add a full-on core website with multiple pages, or do you want to add a squeeze page? Okay. On this example, I'm going to choose that I would like to add a full-blown, it could be 3 pages, 4 pages, 25 pages. I'm going to add a full-blown core website. All right, so I'm going to add the website, and it says, well, these are the ones we've come up with. We have a modern one. We have an innovative one. They've already pre-built different types of sites for us: commercial, breeze, standard, site nav. I'm just going to choose one. Let's just say I choose innovative. It then says, what target market? So just follow the steps. What target market are you looking for? So is this going to be a distressed seller-focused website, a general-focused website, a buyer and seller focused site, an investor-focused site, or a buyer-focused site? So we just pick a target. Let's say we're looking for a distressed seller-focused website. Now, it already has a content pack with all the data in the content pack, also with a video and a ebook for distressed sellers. So I know that you can build a website. I know you can go to Weebly or Wix or GoDaddy and you can build a site. But what about all the content? What about an ebook? What about the videos? They've already professionally done all those items and set up an email drip campaign that goes along with it. So I just want the distressed seller focus site. When I get done saying that, without watching the video for now, I'm going to click on the button where it says next. So click on the next button. It then says, all right, so what's your name? What city? What's your zip code? Type in your company name. Okay, what's your fax number if you want to type that in? What's your website? What's your, do you happen to have a Facebook URL page? You have a Pinterest, an Instagram, a Google+. Do you happen to have a Twitter URL that you want to have on the actual site? Just type it in. It'll automatically link it on your site for you. Okay, so we've already got that filled in. Let's just click the button where it says next. It then says select a domain name. So if you already have a name that you've already pre-bought from GoDaddy or someplace like that, you could use that with this. Just got to get the number, or you can just say I'd like to buy a name. So I'd like to get a name, and I want to become Spokane Distressed. All right, Spokane Distressed. That's what I want. This is a distressed seller focus site, SpokaneDistressed.com. And I want to know, is that available as a .com on the web? Okay, this is just going to link me directly with GoDaddy. So I'm going to click where it says search. Is it available? And it's going to come back and it says on this one, yep, it's available. It says if you want to buy it, just like any name with GoDaddy, this is $10 per year. I type in my card so it can directly link that right to this particular site. Now, I'm not going to go further than that because I've already chosen the name, I've already chosen the content pack, I've already chosen what my Twitter handle is and everything else to put onto this particular site. Let's go backwards here. Let's just go back and take a look at the next item on our list. And you see where it says Lead Pipes Premium. Now, we did this last night. We did search cash buyers. Let's do property leads. And you see where it says property leads. It says, what would you like to search? And we're going to go back and we're going to search a property lead. Okay, so where would I like to search? I would like to search a property lead in Orange County, California. Okay, so Orange County, I'll just type in Orange County. So Orange County, California. Okay, so let's just go down and we'll find out Orange County, California. That's where our search is going to be. And then it says, what lead type are you trying to search? So what kind of house are you looking for? Are you looking for a cash buyer? Okay. So in this case, let's do that we're looking for absentee owners. Let's scroll down. That have high equity. Okay. Absentee owners with high equity. Now, at the bottom, you're going to see where it says must match all selected. So if I click yes, it's only going to find what I told it to. If you click on all the lead types, you'll probably find 0 because it would be very difficult to find every lead type, right? So on this example, I'm going to just search 2 of them. It says what owner type. I'm going to type in that we're looking just for individuals, okay? Then it says what type of property are you searching for? And let's just say I'm searching for single family condos and townhouses, not multifamily, not apartment, not land, just single condo, townhome. And I'm going to click where it says search. And when I click where it says search, it's now crunching the data, going to move me from where I'm at in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, move me to Southern California to Orange County where I'd rather be. And while I'm there, it's going to come back and say, these are the number of properties that qualify in that category. Now, it's such a heavily populated area. It was 36,000 of them. Absentee owners that have high equity. A lot of properties have high equity, okay? So we could narrow this down, and then you would see as well different scores, okay, on the right-hand column over here, okay? So you'd see here's like a score. This is what I mean by a score. Okay, this score is the first score I've ever seen that has a score of a retail score of 1,000. The scores are 0 to 1,000. It has a wholesale score of 574. Anything above 500 is hot, good, okay? This one has a rental score of 94. So on this property, that is a non-owner occupied absentee owner property with high equity, there are 2 games I want to play. I want to play retail game, which could be fix and sell, or I could play wholesale game. Now I'm allowing a tool, computer learning, artificial intelligence, AI is what they call it, to help me be able to make quicker, better decisions. Now, that's a great item. And this one here only has a valuation of a million, almost 1.1 million. Okay. All right. So let's go back and let's do a different search somewhere else. We'll do a different search. This time we'll do a search and we're going to type in Maricopa County. Okay. Maricopa County, Arizona. Not Maricopa City, but Maricopa County, Arizona. So the whole county. So the greater Phoenix area. Okay. And what we're searching for here, it has the same search. It says absentee owners, individuals, and I had single family condo and townhouses, and it's crunching the numbers for that particular search for us in Maricopa County. So you can see we got the spinning wheel going on, and it's now finding properties here for us. And it now finds for us over here, it now finds for us the number of properties that will be absentee that had high equity that were single-family townhouse and condos, and it came up with 52,000. So we're doing a search with way too much data on this. So I want to change this and say I don't care about condos and townhouses. Let's focus on just single-family for now. That will change our item here, and it will tell us a different number. And once we get a different number, I'm also going to change the bedrooms and the bathrooms. So that number was 42,000. All right, so let's change bedrooms and bathrooms. It has to be bedrooms and bathrooms. It has to be at least 2 bedrooms. It has to be at least, let's say, 2 bathrooms. That will limit this. The square feet on this also has to be a minimum of, let's just say, 900 square feet. The maximum we're going to look at would be 2,800 square feet. So 2,800 square feet. And then it's going to do a search for us, and we'll find a search that would be in that category. Okay, we're then going to search for where it says year built. We type in year built, or I could do my search based on AI scores and say I'm only looking for properties in this city, in this county, in this state that has a rental score of blank or a wholesale score. So if you're not playing the rental game and you're not playing the retail game and you're only playing the wholesale game, what you do is you would just search right here where it says wholesale score and say it has to be a minimum of 500 and the maximum would be 1,000. Okay, so this minimum to no max. So I could search based upon the way the computer would search based upon the data. Now again, I get pretty excited talking about this, and if you're watching, you'd have to say, hold it. Brian is now searching. We're not even playing the same game, because I'm doing a search for my computer and finding properties within an area, city, or a county, or a zip code that say these are the wholesale scores I want to look at. Everything else doesn't matter. This is all I'm going to look at. You can do the exact same thing. This is what Delio.pro does. Now we could spend a long time talking about AI scores and pre-foreclosure searches and those items. I need to show you a few other features that we're going to look at. Okay, so let's go back to where it says, over here where it says Analyze Financing. Okay, new feature. I'm going to click where it says Financing. And when I click on Financing, this tool, Delio, directly links directly with Kogo Capital. So it says, hey, what do I need? Do I need a pre-approval letter? Do I need to apply for a property loan? And it goes directly to Kogo Capital. So any property that I find, bang, financing. Any property I find for wholesale, bang, financing. Any property I find for flippers, I've got access to financing directly through Kogo Capital. Big picture, I've got to have you go, you need to, I don't need to have you do anything. You can do whatever you want. You can just sit and watch, take notes, and go back to whatever your comfort lifestyle is. What I'm telling you is this. If you have a broker certification and you learn how to broker money, which is what you're going to tell me is your biggest issue is I don't have any money. Other people have the same issue. If you could learn how to be in the middle, that's the wholesale, that's stick man, the guy in the middle, same thing. I could find just the flippers. And I could now market just to them. I've got letters and postcards that would go just to the flippers that Brian's company, XYZ Properties, can help get them money directly from Kogo Capital that they could use at a certain item. All right, let's do a few more things over here. All right, so I need to make sure, because I've gone through like 45 minutes worth of items over here. And I know that you're actively engaged and watching on this. So what I want to see is this, okay? As we're going through this, I want to make sure that you're gathering this content. I know you want me to do your search in your area, and I would just say I can't do all the searches, so get access to the tool, and you'll be able to use this tomorrow. And you can do all the searches you want, right? Start looking at the AI scores. You're going to have an advantage. Again, the race to gather, process, make a decision, but this is helping you make that decision, okay? So what I want to know is this, okay? In the chat box, we've got more. I need to show you power matching. I need to show you power match. I've got to show you a property analyzer. I need to show that to you, but just to make sure that you're all still engaged with me here, so I know that you're engaged on this, okay? I want you to type into the chat box Delio, D-E-A-L-I-O, Delio. So if you're still watching, you're still engaged, and I'm zooming in and out so you can see this on an awesome software tool called Delio with an awesome presentation from me, Brian. I want you to type in Delio, right? And Jamin says, congrats, Ed. Welcome to the family. Congrats, Ed. Jamin, if you can hear me, if you'll let me know if there are any more of the one deal challenge, 90-day challenge that are available on the ultimate package right after I get done with this Delio presentation. Just type in Delio, and congratulations. I know some of you don't want your name called out, so congratulations to Ed, congratulations to others of you as well, right? So type in Delio. Thank you, Edwin, Gloria, Eleanor. Eleanor, way to take action yesterday. I mean, just bang, Lee talked and bang. I love it when people understand how to take action like that, right? Vanessa, Sabrina, appreciate all of you, Daia, all of you that are communicating and constantly communicating with us. Kevin and everybody else that's in our chat box right now. Let me show you something next. And I want you to stay active, engaged, because I believe the coolest feature. Now you might say AI is the coolest feature, right? A retail score of 800, a wholesale score of 760. I mean, that's something you've never seen before. But I want to show you in a moment what I think is the coolest feature of all, that allows you during COVID, or allows you no matter where you live, how you could connect dots with power matching. This is why I made myself a cash buyer, because I want other people to match properties to me. At the same time, when I put a property under contract, I also want to match that to somebody else. So it's two ways of power matching. Somebody sending me a lead, or me sending somebody else a lead. Okay, both ways. Let me show you power match while you're all engaged right now. Thank you, Brenda, Eileen, Kevin, BJ. Thank you. Let me show you how to power match. Okay, and then we'll show you rehabs, Home Depot, property analyzing. But let me show you power matching. So I've already added, on this particular tool, I've already added a whole bunch of properties. Okay, so a whole bunch of properties. Now I clicked on the button where it says properties, and I've got hundreds and hundreds of properties that we've already added, and 40 different pages of properties. So I want to show you a page, and I pulled up a property. I want to show you how we're going to power match this property. Okay, so here's a property here, and we'll just kind of zoom in on it. Now notice this has a blue box or a blue button. I'll show you how we do that as well. And this is a property, let's just say, that I've done the research on, I have made an offer on, I have somebody that has said yes to this offer. So I have this property under contract. So you don't want to send out power matching to properties you don't have under contract, only properties that you do have under contract. So let's just say on this example that I have this property under contract. Okay, so I've already color coded that with blue. Here's the property. It's in Glendale, Arizona. Okay, it looks like everyone around them has a pool, but they don't have a pool. And we can go to the street view, and we can look around the entire house and check out the neighborhood. You've seen that before, so you can do street view if you want to. Okay, we're not going to street view this property right now. What I want to do is this. I want to do what they call power match. And you'll see right here where it says power matching. Now I could also publish this right to that site I just built, and that would put it on my site because I have under contract. But I'm going to power match this. And power matching means I could send this property to all of my cash buyers, first come, first serve, or I could send this property to everybody else in the community that's part of the tool that is also a cash buyer. For example, if I click power matching, okay, I'm going to click power match. It's going to ask me, do you want to match that to your buyers, like my buyer list? So I would, if this is my market, I would have a cash buyers list. I would for sure send that off to all my buyers. First come, first serve, my company, XYZ Properties. It's already got a pre-written email and a link to the property. So I would send that to mine, okay? Or it says, do you want to send this to a list of community buyers? So I could just send that to a list of community buyers. Other people that are cash buyers. So it tracks all the cash sales, and they have to match the square footage and the style of home. So it's matching buyers and sellers, okay? So I'm going to click where it says community buyers. And when I click on community buyers, it pulls up and says all of these companies or people have bought properties in that city, Glendale, okay, or in Maricopa County. It bought properties that match the specifications of this property. Now we're talking next level investing here. I'm now connecting dots, okay? So our deal investments, and Carly Kirk, and Dennis and E. Harvest Homes, and Elishua Chapman, and GT Property Pros, and all of these people, Mr. 3 Days, MREI Homes, okay, Precision for You Properties, Quattro Solutions, all of these people or companies have all purchased properties all cash as a cash buyer in that area. And then over here would show me how many that they've actually purchased. So some of them have purchased 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 10. Mr. 3 Days has done 10, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Shows me how many they actually bought. Now, I don't care if they bought 1 or 20, okay? What I'd like to do is this. I'd like to click right here and say, I want to send a message to all of them, okay? So I'm going to click where it says send a message, and it's going to send an internal message. So I'm going to send a message to all of them. So this property is going to send all these people an internal message. So when they log on, there'll be a little red dot there as well. I'm going to click where it says send message. And when I click where it says send message, it's going to say, hey, and you could create your own. It says, hi, Power Matching Plus indicates that you have buyers. Okay, you're a buyer. So it's going to send the message with an actual link to the property that I have under contract. Now, it's first come, first serve on this. Let's go back and do that again. I think some of you might miss what just happened here, okay? Because now we're virtual using a tool, saving time, and time again would be our freedom on this. Let's go back and let's take a look at another one, and we'll do one more power match. We're going to go power match the other way, okay? So here's another property. There's a property 17101 West Terra, okay? So I'm going to click on the property, and on this particular property you're going to notice, again, we could do comps. So if I want to evaluate comps on the property, I just click where it says comp evaluation, click comps. It then pulls up the comps for that particular property in that area, zooms up, and I have access to all of them on a map. The red one being the subject property, and then the other ones, okay? You're going to see over here where it says HP Repair Estimator, HP Rehab Planner. So if I want to do a rehab plan, I click on that button. Let me just do one more where it says Power Match. If I click where it says Power Match on this one, it's now going to power match and say, do you want a power match to your buyers, or do you want a power match to your community of buyers? So I'm going to click where it says Community of Buyers. And it's going to say, all right, well, here's all the different companies. And they, Jade's Oasis, and Kevin Miller, and Mr. 3 Days, and MER High. Some of these are the same people because they're buying multiple properties in the same area. So I would say, yeah, just send each one of them a message and come right back over and click where it says send message to each one of them. And I send a message. My company, XYZ Properties, has this property under contract. Here's the price that I could wholesale this to you. That just changed the game. Okay, the bus tour is not going to be for a little bit, but that just changed the game. Okay, so let's do this. That's a power match item. Let's do one other item over here. Okay, one more thing I want to share with you on our left-hand dashboard over here, where it says Analyze, Financing, Communicate. Some of you might say, well, how do you keep track of all this? How does the tool keep track of it? I mean, I've got this property under contract, and I'm using Google Sheets, and this, it keeps track of everything, okay? So I'm going to click a button here at the bottom that says Manage. It says Manage. So when I click where it says Manage, you're going to see it says how you want to manage your documents, your power linking, or a Scrum board. Now, you may never heard of a Scrum board before, so I'm going to click where it says Scrum board. Here's how you're going to manage all this off of one tool. I'm going to click Scrum Board, and it's going to pull up my Scrum Board. Now, again, I can add new columns. The columns I made on this said Opportunity. So here's a property that's an opportunity. I made a column that says Evaluation. I made a column that says Under Contract, and then a column that said Ready to Close. Then after that, I delete them off the Scrum board. So notice, here's a Scrum board, and it says, right, here's a property, James Allen, on this property is an opportunity. We've now evaluated the property, so we're going to move him over to the evaluation stage. You then see where it says, all right, I made an offer. If James accepts the offer, we're then going to move him over to being under contract on the scrum board. When that property then is ready to close, we then move him over to ready to close. So I have access to what properties are closing, which ones are under contract, and everything's run through a scrum board to manage all of it. When I say they think of everything, when you've done as many properties that Lee has done for as many years as they've done it, they think of everything. Because these are all the pitfalls. That's again goes back to outliers. The 10,000 hours, he's already put them all in and said, this is a problem, fixed it. Here's a problem, fixed it. What about a rehab? So we'll do the same thing when it comes to like a rehab of a property. So we're going to do a quick little rehab plan, and I'm going to click where it says properties again. I'm going to show you one as a demonstration, and you can do one of your own, okay? So as a demonstration, I'll get back to our rehab plan, and I did a little small rehab plan on a property just to demonstrate for you. So here's our property. I put it and color-coded it in blue. And here's our property at Carroll Avenue. Okay? And on Carroll Avenue, it says, again, what do you want to do with this? And there's so much to look at. There's no way for me to get into documents and seller scripts and everything else. But you see where it says comps, HP repair estimator, HP rehab planner. So I'm going to click where it says rehab planner. And on my rehab planner, okay, you're going to see what I'm looking for is the rehab plan I started to create for this particular property. So I started making a rehab plan for a demonstration for all of you. Rehab plan. So let's click rehab plan. I want to edit that rehab plan. Let's just see what it looks like. Now this is directly linked with Home Depot. Okay, so on the left-hand column you're going to notice, and this is second nature to me, but on the left-hand column you're going to notice where it says interior, bathrooms, kitchen, interior doors, floors, walls, paint, windows, and all these categories. So it looks like, and then they have the exterior, but it looks like I've got items in the bathroom. So if I click bathroom, up it'll pop up all the bathroom items. Accessories, enclosures, fixtures, bathtub. So looks like we've got a bathtub that we're putting in. So if I click on the bathtub, it's going to say, all right, right now you have chosen this bathtub, this ProFlow acrylic whirlpool. Okay, this is the price at Home Depot. These are the labor cost. Here's the material description, all the information. If I'd like to change that to something else, I change the bathtub, which will change my plan. Let's say we change this one to this drop-in bath with reversible drain. And it changes the actual bathtub, which will change my entire rehab plan. Now, let me show you like two other items here, because you get the idea of changing fixtures and sinks. I'm going to click where it says sink, and it says I've chosen this sink fixture here. If I want to change sink fixtures to something else, let's say we want to change it to that, changes the sink fixture, okay? If I want to change that to this chrome fixture, changes the chrome fixture, changes the entire rehab plan. Let's do one other item. Let's go to the kitchen. Here's all the items in the kitchen we can do. If I choose appliances, pulls up and says here's the appliances. Okay, looks like I've chosen a GE black front controlled dishwasher, and I want to change that to something else. I want to change that to a Frigidaire stainless steel, $5.99. Changes the picture, changes the rehab plan. So you can see down to the penny, it's going to show me what my rehab plan, what it costs for the entire item, what the total is of each section and the entire rehab. Now, that's great. Those are all the prices directly linked through Home Depot. Let's look at one last item. You see right here where it says generate documents. I now want to generate documents of my entire rehab plan that I could also have my contractor sign. So this has all been pre-set up, pre-done for me. So I don't have to go anywhere else, which is just going to save time. I'm going to click where it says generate documents. And when I click where it says generate documents, it's going to pull up and say, here's your property rehab formal proposal, which was done today on 7/30/2020. And as I scroll down the page, it's going to say, all right, so here's the general conditions, the work guarantee, the approval, the extra work, the project cost, all of the items in the kitchen, the bathroom, or whatever it is that we just did a moment ago, all those items, okay, everything and then some. Okay, at the bottom of this, once we get past all the items, it says this is what the subcontractors agreed to, here's what you agreed to, here's the payment schedule. In fact, you can change the schedule. I'm going to pay 25% upon signing the agreement, 25% upon completion, 40% upon completion of final painting, and 10% upon total job completion. Here's the acceptance. There's my signature. There's your signature. When I say that Lee and team have thought of everything, now I've got the contracts linked with Home Depot. I put it all in one spot. I can put all the notes of what I've now done. I've made offers, made this, okay? So all in one particular spot. If I wanted to do one last item, and we were right back at this item here, and I wanted to look on our property, and we're looking at this property, which was in Glendale, Arizona, and I were to click where it says Deal Analyzer, okay, let's click Deal Analyzer. Now, we're not showing you every feature, but features that change the game, features that save you time. Because how else are you going to do that? Drive by, call your agent, hope they can find a good deal for you? It's an absolute game changer. It's all in one spot. So if I did a deal analyzer, okay, and I could do a new deal analysis. So if I want to do a deal analysis, I come over and say, create new analysis. So I could click create analysis. It will then pull up and say, do you want to do a one-page? Now, one page would be for a wholesale deal. A multi-page would be for, hey, I want to look at the retail, the wholesale, and the rental, okay, based upon the AI score. Then I would click where it says create. And then it's going to ask me, all right, so did you want to do just buy and flip? Did you want to do buy and hold? Or did you want to do lease with an option to buy? So depending on what the AI score said, I would say, yeah, let's look at a buy and flip. And or we could also say, let's also do a buy and hold. And or we could also look at a rent to own lease option. And over here, I just have to fill in. Now it's going to auto-populate most all these numbers for us. But some of the numbers it doesn't know. It doesn't know what you purchased it for. It doesn't know what the renovation costs are until you import from the rehab estimator. It doesn't know what you're going to rent it for, so you have to type in a rental number so it could calculate everything else for us. Let me show you what some of these reports look like or what's included in these reports. It would take too long for me to actually do one here. It'll take us 5 minutes, and I want to speed that process up. So I'm going to show you one that I've actually done. And we'll just show you like one item on this because it would be beneficial for all of us to see the one item. And when we look on this, okay, we're going to look at one here like this is in Portland, okay, 2611 Southwest Miles Street. So here's a property that I gave 5 stars, and I could now go ahead and I could give it also a color label. So I would color them label by pre-foreclosure, by wholesale. You could have your own color code, but that's how I would color code them. I could then type in here, did deal analyze it? So I analyzed property, made offer with send fuse. So you can keep track of all of the items, okay? Let me show you what the deal analysis looked like on this one. So I'm going to click where it says Deal Analyzer. And where it says deal analyzer, I did a deal analysis on this property. I did a fix and flip because the rental wasn't what I was looking for and the wholesale wasn't what I was looking for. I was only looking to buy and flip. That's what I was looking for, the deal analysis. And when I did that, it pulls up, and I had to type in some of the information here, like purchase price. I had to type some of it in. And I typed in the information, and it takes in to allocate a certain amount for land and square footage. And I'm going to click where it says reports. And when I click where it says reports, it pulls up these reports. The first one says a simple, easy to read, one-page overview of the main deal points on a buy and flip. Second one, an analysis of all key metrics on buy and flip, including net profit, ROI, and cash-on-cash return. So it calculates all of it for me. Buy and flip monthly pro forma, cash flow pro forma, a monthly cash flow pro forma for buy and flip. So I could save the report, or in this case, I'm just going to click where it says download. We won't look at all of them. Let's just download this report and see what it looks like. So I click download the report, and it pulls up the report for me and tells me, all right, here was your purchase price. Now I told it that. My renovation costs on that property were $22,000. That was my renovation cost. Okay. I said it may take me 6 months. I always put it out for their 6 months to actually fix and sell that property. So it calculated all the holding costs for me. It also tells me, as I scroll down, you see in green, what I'm going to sell this for, my sales price after I fix it. This is already calculated commissions, closing costs, taxes, and everything else. And over here it says, oh, by the way, Brian, if you did that property based on the numbers you gave us, your pre-tax net profit would be that amount. Now that may seem like a big number to you. It may seem like a small number to you. It doesn't really matter. It's a number. Okay, that's one. So under contract, fix flip, up to 6 months on this deal, including my lender, including the $22,000 renovation costs of my contractor, my pre-tax net profit would be $65K on this particular deal. So you can see from my computer, using a tool called Delio, using this particular tool called Delio, that I could access all sorts of data, keep track of everything all in one particular spot. Now, that's a tool that Lee uses. That's a tool that he's going to use before we go to a bus tour. That's a tool that he's going to use, okay? Before we go to a bus tour, we're going to have Lee go out in the marketplace. He's going to use that particular tool. That tool is part of their ultimate package. That's part of the ultimate package. Okay, so we went through that again. Now, what we're going to do is this. I've shared a lot of information about that, and I realize that, I mean, there's a lot to try to take in. It covers all sorts of lead types and power match, and I mean, you could find your specific cool feature. I found for me that power matching was the cool feature because other people bring properties to me. I don't have to drive around, and I could now take properties that I find and match them to somebody else. So I can do the exact same thing. I appreciate that. A lot faster, virtual, especially when you're maybe working or maybe not working. Like, I don't know how you could do the business without a tool like this, because someplace you're not supposed to go out very much, and I can use a tool like this, bang, under contract, right? I'm talking with lots of you. He's in constant communication with his students, with you, and also with Wyatt, and with Rob. So tell us a little about what's going on. I know that you've got some great stories and a lot of great conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to day 2. I know you've been here, and I know it's been amazing for everyone on. So I've had a lot of great conversations with you. And first of all, I just want to commend everyone. You know, Wyatt and Rob have let me know that they've had some amazing conversations as well. I know that this stuff is personal. I know sharing your goals and where you're at is really personal. And so many of you have opened up, have been really authentic, have expressed truly what they're trying to accomplish, the results they're after. You've let us understand your purpose and your why and what's driving you. And for so many of you, we've been able to put together a plan specifically of what you're going to do next. And as you know, it's been different for all of you. So I want to congratulate those that are moving forward, that stepped up in a big way and took on that fear and overcame it, and are trusting us to help you reach those results. So congratulations to all of those moving forward so far. I know we've got appointments with a lot of you coming up, consultations. Danielle, yours is right now, and I'm going to be back in to call you next, so don't worry. Brenda, Sabrina will follow up with you shortly. But I just want to congratulate all of you for taking the time to do this, and specifically those that are moving forward with us. We're going to get those results coming in as soon as we can. So that's what I wanted to say.
Quick, I'm sorry. I'm just jumping in.
He's going to jump back in.
I was looking at some text. So real quick, ultimate package-wise, because Lee came in, did like the one deal item, and you guys were back in the back. But so as far as ultimate packages, number, I mean, do we have some left? Or there?
Yeah, good question. So this is pretty fun for us because Lee just improv that on us. But yeah, there's about 2 or 3 of those ultimate packages left that we will give the tuition reimbursement for one deal. How there's even 2 or 3 left, I'm really surprised, but I know we have several consultations left in the rest of the day, so those will go pretty quickly. Looking forward to finding the right 2 or 3 people to fill those. So yeah, there's a couple of those left.
So if somebody was a consultation, let's say the next one, or a 3 o'clock or a 4 o'clock consultation, and they want to make sure that they're in on that, what should they do? Should they text you? Because you're going to be on a phone call.
Yeah, so it's first come, first serve. So we have consultations. I'm booked up now till the rest of the day. I think I have 1 half-an-hour spot left for the rest of the day. I know Wyatt and Rob are pretty booked up too. But if this is something that you're serious about, that you know you want, Brian's been telling you all weekend, or all week, excuse me, there's got to be urgency here. You have to make quick, calculated, confident decisions, and that's what you need to do as an investor. That's what you need to do in life. So if that's something you want, text your consultant and say, hey, bump me to the top of the list, do something to get me in. Now you got to show some urgency on your side, and then we'll mirror that. But we're not going to have more urgency for your business than you're going to display here today, right, or in chat. So make sure you reach out to us if we can help you.
All right, awesome. Yeah. You're getting a hold of Deborah right now?
I'm going to go call Danielle right now. Danielle. You guys have fun on the bus tour. Brian will introduce that.
Awesome.
And looking forward to working with you all. So congratulations. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so he's going to get back to phone calls, and I know Wyatt and Rob have phone calls and consultations going, so I appreciate it. Thank you, Jamin. We're going to end up going on like a bus tour. So what I'm going to have is this. Just recently, we had our production staff come in, and Lee researched properties like you and I just did on Delio. He researched properties on Delio, and then they left the studio and they thought, let's just go out to the actual properties and see what happens. And they went out to the studio, out of the studio to properties that they had researched. Then they used SendFuse, and they started making offers on properties. And so I want to see how the whole process works. So when I say Rule of 56 and having the right data, strong data, you'd understand how to make decisions faster, right? So again, this is part of their hands-off wholesale and their broker certification. But these 2 tools, hand in hand, Delio and SendFuse, are going to be live in action together on this, we're going to call it a bus tour, but we're not on a bus. So we'll call it a bus tour. It's going to be Peter and Lee in the studio, and then leaving the studio out to properties. So I want you to give them your full attention. For me, this is like my favorite part of the entire 2 days, because I get to see a pro, and I want you to watch how Lee acts and reacts and the types of decisions he makes and how confident he is in making decisions. He's not thinking about it. He's not hoping that it works. He's actually making offers. In fact, he doesn't even care if they say yes or no. He's going to make the offer anyway to start that conversation. So I want you to give your full attention. Stop whatever you're doing. Stop and watch this particular little this clip with Lee for the next little bit. It's going to go about an hour long when you see how the whole process works. Plus, it's exciting to watch how the whole thing works, and the project and the offering, and how the whole thing works together. So enjoy Lee. If you have questions, write their question down. I'll answer those questions after the bus tour. Once it's over, come right back to me. Enjoy the next little bit with Lee, making offers, researching properties, and doing deals. Enjoy this for the next little bit.
All right. Well, everybody, I know that up to this point you are having a tremendous experience. You are really learning a lot through our funding tour. And I wanted to come in here personally and show you how to utilize the tools from Delio.pro to SendFuse, and show you how quickly you can literally be out there finding amazing deals, getting properties under contract, and what that process flow looks like. So I have come in here today without any previous review, consideration of the market, of the area, of the particular properties. And so this is going to be really fun for both you and me, because I have no idea what deals we're going to find when we go in here and look for deals in Delio. I have no idea what's going to happen when we get out into the field, because I'm going to literally go from finding the deals here within Delio, researching them within Cenfuse, and then we are going to cut to me being physically out in front of these properties, so that you guys can get a full encompassing understanding of what you need to do from the moment you get started with your ultimate package and get your Delio turned on, as well as your Cenfuse access up and going. Now, the goal here, you guys, is to find properties that have upside, that have equity, that we can wholesale, and that's why the ultimate package includes the ultimate wholesaling program, or the hands-off wholesaling program, is to show you guys how to quickly make $5, $10, $15, $20,000 to help you recoup your investment into the ultimate package as quickly as possible. Now, on some of these properties, we are going to find homeowners that are not receptive to selling, but as a private money broker, we can come in, and if we can't buy the asset from the owner, we could help them refinance the asset and get some of their cash out of that property. Here's the great thing. Either way, you guys, we are getting paid. We're either going to make money wholesaling the deal, or we're going to make money brokering the deal with the owner of that asset. Okay? So, fast forward with me now. You have enrolled in the ultimate package. You have now access to Delio.pro, and this is where you begin. So first thing is, you're going to go into Delio.pro, you're going to log in, which I've done. You are looking now at the home page, and all you're going to do is just click on properties. Okay? So we click on properties. So all you're going to do is you're just going to come in here, you're going to open up Delio.pro, and you're going to click on Lead Pipes Premium, and you're going to click on Property Leads. Okay, Property Leads is what we're looking for, and you're going to come to a screen that looks just like this one. Now, because we are here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, most of the properties that I flip are located in Spokane, Washington, just over the border in eastern Washington, and that's where I'm going to take you today on our tour. So we're going to type in Spokane, and it's going to give us a drop-down. Always make sure you get the Delio.pro drop-down, or you're not going to get everything you're looking for. Now, I want properties that have absentee owners, preferably that are free and clear, properties that have high equity, meaning the amount that is owed is significantly less than the value of the asset. Okay? I'm not interested in active listings. I want properties that are not on the MLS, preferably. A board investor would be great. A foreclosure would be great. A long-term owner would be fabulous. If I can get a vacant house, that would be awesome. And even a zombie property. Now, here's something that's really important. When you guys get your Delio and you're walking through these steps as I'm showing them to you, here at the bottom where it says must match all selected, if that is clicked on, you're not going to get any properties. It's going to literally zero out, because the likelihood of a single property having every single one of the criteria that you've selected and designated here, not highly likely. So we don't need it to match all selected. We just want it to match as many of the selected as we possibly can. Okay? Now we click over here and we're looking for owner types. Now you can see the choices: individual, business, financial, government, and trust. I don't want to deal with businesses. I don't want to deal with financial. I don't want to deal with banks or REOs. I don't want to deal with governments, and I don't want to deal with trusts. People that hold properties in trusts or in corporations typically don't have the same degree of financial difficulty as an individual owner might have. It is much easier in this arena to deal with the private owner than it is to go after the corporate owner. So we're going to click on individual here. And then lastly, you can see the different choices, okay? We can choose single families, condos, townhomes, multi-apartments, and other. Now, I want you guys focusing on, and I know that many of you are here, just looking in the chat, some of you are interested in apartment buying and multifamily buying. That is not our goal here for this particular training. The goal is to help you make as much money in the shortest period of time as possible, and that means we're going to focus in on single family housing. Anything above and beyond that is great, but not until you have achieved the goal. Now remember, the goal, as your presenter has already told you, the goal, $250,000 in liquid cash. Once you have $250,000 in cash, now the sky is wide open to you. It is limited, it's limitless. Whatever you want to pursue, great. But right now, as we're working towards that $250,000 in cash, we're going to focus only on single families. Now, I know that many of you live in heavily populated areas where you have a lot of condominiums, a lot of townhouses. I get it, okay? You may have to drive a little bit outside of town, 5 or 8 miles, to find the large population of single family stick-built homes. Now, I buy mobiles, I buy apartments, those are all great things, but the way you make money the fastest is single family. So we're going to click on that and we are done. And now we're simply going to hit search, okay? Now at this point, Delio.pro is going to go and hover over Spokane County, and it's going to bring to me all of the properties that fit the criteria of what I am looking for. Now you can see this drop down here. Okay, how do we want Delio to sort these leads for us? Okay, now we can do it either by distance, we can do it by loan to value, we can do it by square feet, we can do it by the last sale date, the last notice date, but I want to do it by the loan to value. Okay. Now what this means is the properties that we're looking at right here have a 0% loan to value. You can see this right here below each one of these properties. 0% LTV, 0% LTV, 0% LTV. What that means is there's no underlying mortgage. There's no debt. So a homeowner that owns those particular properties can accept a lower offer. They can accept a 3-tiered offer where the seller is going to carry back some of the portion of the purchase price, which will limit our outlay of capital. Where they have no underlying debt, the options are incredible, okay? Because we have so many different ways we can structure the offer. Now, as I'm looking at these deals, you guys, I'm seeing 7518 North F Street. I'm seeing 225 East 63rd Avenue. And what I'm looking for are deals that fit within our box. Now, what is the box? Now, as a reminder, you guys can all go to cogocapital.com. The box is right there. Okay. I am looking for properties that when I go to resell them will not exceed the FHA cap. So I'm going to go right down here where it says Cogo Capital Lending Criteria. This is on the front page of Cogo Capital's website, and I'm simply going to go in and I'm going to click Washington State and I'm going to click on Spokane County, and voila, it gives me the FHA cap rate on single family homes in Spokane County, which is $331,760. Now, if you have not done this yet, I want you to go to cogocapital.com and find your FHA cap, because that number is the sandbox that we play in. I don't want anything where my purchase price exceeds $331 or my retail sales price exceeds $331. Now, it's really important that you guys understand that that varies by market. For example, let's go to the crazy state where values are out of control. And let's just pick, let's go into Los Angeles County right here, okay? Now, look at the FHA cap on a single family house in Los Angeles, California. It's $765,000. Now, if we go into Chicago, and let's go to Cook County, you can see in Cook County, Chicago, the FHA cap is $368,000. If we go over, let's say, to Miami, Florida, which I believe is going to be Dade County. No, let's see. Florida. Okay. And let's go into, actually it might be Broward County. Dade, Miami-Dade. Okay, got it. So we're going to go back here and we're going to go into Dade County. Miami-Dade, where'd you go? There it is right there. Okay, so in Miami-Dade County, the FHA cap is $373,750. Okay, so when we're buying and selling, regardless of what market you are in, you guys, and I don't care where you are in the United States of America, always stay below the FHA cap, because 80% of the people who buy houses buy below the FHA cap. It is what is considered affordable housing. And when you get above that cap, you are now into no man's land, and this is where people get hurt. Every time you talk to somebody who lost money on a real estate transaction, it was a number that far exceeded the FHA cap because they couldn't get it sold. And remember, in real estate, we make money when we buy, and we realize our investment when we sell, which means we have to buy it right. Okay? So now, knowing kind of the boundaries, you can see here that this property on Elk Ridge, the market value is $662,000. That exceeds our cap. Now, guys, I have been a licensed real estate agent for 20 years. I'm currently with Keller Williams, have been for quite some time. I'm a licensed broker. Last year, I was the #1 real estate agent in my market for volume of units. We sell a lot of houses, and I flip a lot of houses, and I know the market really well. Now, for those of you that are just getting started, Delio.pro is going to help you better understand the market, so that you can go through and quickly analyze what's a good deal and what isn't. Now, I can tell you right now that this property at 1312 East Gordon looks interesting to me. The reason being is the market value is 130, which tells me it's going to be in a more challenged market because that's a low price for Spokane County. I like the lower end markets because they typically sell faster than others. So we're going to pull the Senfuse report on that and see what we have going there. Here's one at 211 South Stevens. Let's see, Lincoln. Let's see what else we have here. 2918 Perry Street, 963. Now, if that was a South Perry Street address, I would be very interested, but it's a North Perry, which is not nearly as desirable. Let's see here. This one intrigues me. $12,000, probably a piece of land. And I like land, but you're not going to make quick money on land, so we're going to stick with single-family stick-built houses. Now, this one is really interesting because it's right over here by this other one. So if we go to 1431 East Queen Avenue, also in Spokane, and that's in 99207. Okay, and I'm going to pull up one more here. So that's page 1. Look at this. We got 41,000 potential leads. So let's go to page 2. I just want one more deal that we're going to go look at out there. And there it is, right there. 544 East Gordon. Okay. Now, you guys remember the formula, okay? When we find deals, okay, the first step, you find the deal. Step 2, you Google the deal. Step 3, you go into Zillow and you Zillow the deal. Step 4, you go into Senfuse and you Senfuse the deal. And then step 5, you go drive the property, okay? So, in order, we've got now 3 properties. So step 1 is we're going to go in and we're going to Google search them. So 1312 East Gordon Avenue, Spokane, Washington, 99207. Now again, I know that you guys watching and you are in all different parts of the country, and you're not interested at all in Spokane, Washington, and that's great. I don't need you to be interested in Spokane, Washington. I simply need you to understand the process of how we go through determining these. So 1312 East Gordon, so the first thing I'm looking at is the Zestimate. Okay, now let me go back just so I can show you guys how I got here. Remember, we Google it first. The reason we Google it first is I want to make sure that I've got the right address. Now, Google will find the address here, and then I can copy and paste that and use that anywhere else that I'm going to go. The other thing I'm looking for specifically related to this address is anything negative or derogatory about this property. Perhaps where it's been previously listed. So here it is on Redfin, previously listed and sold. Okay, so now I want to go to the Zillow link here. So I'm just going to click on 1312 East Gordon here in Zillow, and that's going to bring me to this page. Once you get to this page in Zillow, you're going to simply click on the map right here, okay? And then you're going to click on the lot lines. Now the lot lines, this is a really important tool because it gives you what I call a Zillow overlay of the market as a whole. And here is the subject property, okay? So 207, 205, here's one next door at 110, here's one at 170, here's one at 201, 218. So it appears to be a $200,000 neighborhood, but this house looks pretty interesting because it's sitting at 110. So what's going on with this property that it's at 110? Sold on October of 17. Okay, so this is 1304. Oh, and this is what, okay, now I understand what's going on. Okay, Google got me the wrong, so I've got 1312 East Gordon Avenue here, but when I clicked on the lot lines, and I clicked on this, it took me to a West Gordon address. Did you guys see that? That was a very subtle shift. Interesting. Okay, that's going to give us the wrong value, but I'm still going to write down 1304 East Gordon Avenue. Okay. All right, so based on the Zillow overlay of what I'm looking at, it appears to be a $200,000 neighborhood, okay? Now, next step, we Googled it, we've Zillowed it, now we need to go in and we need to send fuse it. So let me set up my phone to screen mirror so you guys can follow along with me here on, okay, now with SendFuse, all you do is you come in here and the first command in SendFuse is always research. So we're going to say research 1304 East, nope, I'm sorry, 1312 East Gordon Avenue, Spokane, Washington 99207. Okay, now SendFuse is saying 1312 East Gordon, is this correct? Yes, that's correct. Okay. Now, you guys, I don't even know how you do this without Delio.pro and without SendFuse because it gives you the information so quickly. Here we go. 1312 East Gordon is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. Sale price is 0. Darlene C. Humphrey is the owner. There is no mortgage information. And based on this, owner occupied, but it looks like she's been there for quite some time. So now, here's a little shortcut trick. I'm just going to go up here. I'm going to copy the address. And now every command within SendFuse related to this address, I just copy and paste. So now I want title for, and I'm just going to drop in the address here. It says this address, yes. Now what the title report is going to give me is all of the additional property information. How long have they owned it? When did they buy it? How much did they buy it for? Who are the neighbors? The surrounding property data, the tax assessor information. Everything is going to be delivered to me in SendFuse. Okay. Now while I'm waiting for that delivery of the title report to land, I'm going to go back here to Google and I'm going to start working on our next property address. Again, these are the properties that came right out of Delio.pro, 1431 East Queen Avenue, Spokane, Washington, 99207. Okay, 1417 East Queen. So again, here we are in Google. First thing, go down and see, is the property listed? Because if the house is listed, all we have to do is contact the real estate agent. And sometimes they are. So let's go through here and see 1431 East Queen. Yep, not seeing any listing information on it at all. So let's now go to Zillow. And we've got a Zest at $265. Now this says it sold on January 4th of 2019 for $232,000. Let's see, it looks like a flat lot. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, so remember, I was interested in Delio because it was showing a price at like $15,000. So it appears that it was a vacant lot, somebody bought it and has now built a new house on it and has resold it. So for all of those reasons, I don't want to spend any more time on the Queen Street property. Now, here's another reason this is so important. In real estate, it's not always about what you buy. Sometimes it's about what you don't buy. And having the tools at your disposal to determine what is and what is not a good investment of your time is imperative. I have seen clients waste hours, days, weeks, sometimes months on due diligence and research, where if they just had the tools, they could know within seconds that's not a good investment. Don't invest any more time on that deal. So we know very quickly that Queen is out. Now, as we've been sitting here, Senfuse has sent us our title report. So I'm just going to open my email very quickly. And we're going to open up this title report for 1312 East Gordon. Now, while we're waiting for that to happen, I'm going to go back over here to Delio because I need a new property to replace the Queen property, because we're going to drive out here in just a moment into this neighborhood, and I want us to have a third deal to look at. So let's find another one. Now, at this point, I'm looking for 99207. Because that's going to keep us all in a pretty tight nucleus so we can see the most properties in the shortest period of time. Okay, let's go to the next page. 99208, 208. Now here's the other thing, you guys. When we get out into this neighborhood, I'm going to show you how just with a handful of properties, we're going to find a whole lot more properties. Now here's a good one. 821 East Fairview Avenue. 821 East Fairview Avenue. And that is Spokane, Washington, 99207. Okay, so that's going to be our third one. So let's go here now. And let's open up this title report. There it is. Okay, now when you get your title reports with Senfuse, this is what they look like. They look very professional, and we did this intentionally. We designed it this way so that when you go out and look at these properties, there might be an occasion to talk to the homeowner or to go and talk to the neighbors. We want to look as professional as we can. So with Senfuse, you're going to get the property profile report with all of the information so that you can sound incredibly informed when you get out there and get in front of the client. Now, the primary owner is Darlene C. Humphrey. You can see that the mailing address matches the site address, so we know that it is owner occupied. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 926 square foot house. You can see that there's no recent sale or loan information, which means she has been there a long time. Now, this is an interesting shot because if you guys look at this, here is the subject property, and it appears that this house sits on a double lot. Now that intrigues me because if we can buy the house and split the lot, I can literally buy and sell the house and make $30,000 or $40,000 in profit just on the house, and I can own the lot free and clear. Now, the advantage of owning the lot free and clear is I can take that lot to Kogo, and Kogo will give me a loan to build a brand new house if I wanted to. Okay? So we can wholesale it, we can broker it, we can sell it to another investor and broker the funding so somebody else can build the house. So many options on this one deal, so I'm excited to go out and go look at it. Here is the comps for this property. Now, the colors here are really important, you guys, because if it's blue, it means it's a full transfer, arm's length transaction, which means a healthy market. You always want to see a predominant blue. You don't want to see a predominant green or orange or red, because that tells you that we are in a declining market, and for whatever reason, houses are just selling for distressed prices. People are losing their home to foreclosure. Now, I believe as the market continues to shift, and it is shifting, that we're going to see more and more short sales coming online. We're going to be seeing more distressed sales coming online. And ultimately, if those don't sell pre-foreclosure as a short sale, or they don't sell at auction as a distressed sale, they will then come around and they will become an REO. REO standing for real estate owned, and then it becomes a bank-owned house, and now we're dealing directly with the lender. So here you can see the subject property right here at the top. And there are three things that are important for value. Okay, number one is the year that it was built. The second thing is the square footage of the asset, and the third thing is the lot size. Okay, so when we're comping this against itself, here is ours is built 1920, 1950, or it's a 920 square foot build, built in 1952, and it's a 10,200 square foot lot. Now look at all of the other lots in this neighborhood: 5100, 5100, 5100. So what that tells us is that this is indeed a double lot that can be subdivided. So already I'm very interested in this deal, but let's look at the comps. Here's a 920, here's an 860 that sold for 170, here's a 780 that sold for 160, and here's a 1007 built in 56 that sold for 200. So based on this, I'm going to put the average value of this neighborhood at about 189.9 is where I would comp this property. And I think that that would be an accurate assessment. So 1312 East Gordon is a after repaired value, or an ARV, of 189.9. Okay, so now there's no debt. Lady owns it free and clear. All we now need to do is make contact with the lady, and we can potentially buy this house and get it under contract. Now, before I jump in my car and go anywhere, you guys, I always print out my title sheets from Senfuse. So I'm going to print this real quick, and I will grab this off of the printer on my way out. Now, the next time you guys see me, when we leave the studio here, the next time you see me, I'm going to be standing in front of the property holding the sheet. So I need you to understand where I got the sheet. I just printed it out right here from our research. So I got to tell you, I am really excited about this Gordon house. I think there's some real upside there. Okay, so we've completed the research on deal number one. Let's now go back over to Google, and let's check out our second house, which is going to be 544 East Gordon. Remember, we've already ruled out the Queen Street property, so let's go here and look quickly at 544 East Gordon. All right, so again, comb through Google, make sure it hasn't been previously listed. We can save ourselves a lot of time, energy, and effort. If it has, we can contact the agent directly. 544 East Providence, no, okay. 544 East Gordon, okay, so I'm not seeing anywhere that it's been previously listed. I'm not seeing any negative news about it, so next step we go to Zillow. Okay, so here we have off market. I don't see any prior sale information. Here's a street view of the house. Tiny little house, cookie cutter. This is exactly the type of deal that we're looking for. Okay, this is always an interesting thing when you see that. Kind of gives you an idea of the type of neighborhood we're dealing with. But this is poster child, you guys. This is exactly the kind of house I want you looking for. Just the single family, three bedroom, one bath, under 1,000 square feet. And some of you are going, I don't even think those types of properties exist in my market. They do, believe me, okay? You just have to know what you're looking for and why you are looking for it. Okay, so I like that. Let's now click on the map here. Let's look at the Zillow overlay. So you click on the map and then you're going to click on lot lines, okay? And here's what we have. Here's the subject property right here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, here's the subject property, and again, it looks like another double lot. Double lot day, apparently. This is great. So 194. Now, you can see on this house that we've got 2 outbuildings. Now, where I live here in the Pacific Northwest, we have inclement weather. We get a lot of rain, we get a lot of snow. So an outbuilding, a shop, a man cave, a she shed, anywhere they can escape the long winter months to go, work on a car or do something, adds tremendous value. So I love seeing 2-car garages. I love seeing shops. Anything that gives them more room, that's what we are after. Okay? So 544 East Gordon. I'm liking everything I see. So next step now is we're going to go into Send Views. So let me share my phone with you again. There's that. Okay, so now we go to Send Views and we're going to say, remember, you always start with the research command to make sure we have the right address. Research 544 East Gordon. And this one is just, 7 or 8 blocks away from the other one? Spokane, Washington, 99207. Now I can tell you guys that we flip a lot of houses in this 99207 zip code, and you will discover that the more deals you do, you will find that you predominantly do a lot of business in a single area because it just becomes your honey hole. It becomes your farm area because there's so much opportunity in that market. The other advantage of staying within a geographic region is you create your own comps. So you buy a house, you fix it up real nice, and you sell it, you just created a comp. So if you now buy the house 3 blocks away, you fix it up and sell it, the house you just did creates the comp for the new house. And we have created entire marketplaces within my market because we have sold so much property and volume in those areas. Appraisers are calling us and saying, hey, I want to use this house and this house and this house for comps on the appraisal. We do not have an issue and never have had an issue of appraisals not landing because we create our own comps. Now this one is interesting. Okay, here we have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 890 square foot, built 1900. Notice that the owner name is Gene Pete Fish, and it is not owner occupied. And Gene lives at 718 South Evergreen Road out in Spokane Valley. So not only do we have a property that's free and clear, we also have an owner that does not live there. So when we get out to this property, it's either going to have a tenant in it as a rental or it could be potentially vacant. We won't know that until we get out there. So I like what I'm seeing. We're going to copy and paste the address here. We're going to go Title 4, and then we're going to drop in the address. And while SendViews is pulling our title, I'm going to push that down, and we're going to go to our last property that we're going to research here on our tour. And that is 821 East Fairview. Okay, so here we are in Google. There is the subject property. Okay, now this one sold on July of 19. And it appears that they have gone in and somebody has gone in and added a garage, done a very nice remodel on it. Okay. Yeah, that one looks fantastic. All right. So we're going to go ahead and cross off Fairview. That one's already been done. And just looking at the time, you guys, you're going to see just with the two houses we've got, that's going to take more time than we have, because not only are we going to have these two properties that we're going to go see, you're going to see how many other properties we find when we get out into this neighborhood. So one last thing I've got to do before we get, let's pull up the title report on the East Gordon property. Here it is. Okay, again, out-of-state or long-distance landlord does not live in the property. There you can see his information, Gene Peatfish, lot size 9180, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. You don't see any recent sale or loan information, which means the owner has held it for a long time and has no underlying mortgage. In fact, here you can see an inter-family purchase. So it looks like he inherited it from his parents when they passed. Here are the comps, okay? Ours is built in 1900. It's 890 square feet. Here again, look at the lot size, you guys. 9,180 square foot lot. All of the other properties are 5,100 square feet. So we have another double lot, which we could potentially split. Here's a sale for 122, 1900. So we go down, we look at the year built. Here's a 1906 build. Here's a good comp. Okay, sold October of last year, 155,000. That's a good comp. And you can see that they are all blue. We don't have any distressed sales in this neighborhood, so it's a good, strong neighborhood. And I'm going to put value on this one at, $189,000 as well. So ARV on this house, 189.9. Okay. Now we're going to print it so that we have it when we get out into the field. So we'll print that off. Now, one last thing we do before we jump on our car. Okay, we're going to go over to Google Maps. Right here. Okay. Now, you always put in your starting address, and we are leaving our corporate offices here in Coeur d'Alene, East Front. There we are. Okay. And then we're going to do driving directions. Okay. And we're going to drive to whoops. There it is. Okay. So we flip these two. So that's the starting point. And then we're going to type in 1312 East Gordon. Now, I don't care how well you guys know your market. I know my market really well, but I always do this because we drive a lot of foreclosure properties every week. And this is going to help you avoid backtracking. Okay. Now, here's basically what this does for us. Okay. Here's our starting point. We're right here in Coeur d'Alene. Now, this is especially helpful when you guys are driving multiple properties. And sometimes when I'm out driving foreclosure houses, we could have 20 to 25 houses that we're going to go drive in an afternoon. So I will always go to Google Maps, put in my route, and then Google will show me which direction to go and which one is closest. So here, according to this map, we're going to go to 1312 East Gordon first, and then we're going to hit 544 East Gordon, and I'll show you guys just how in that little 7-block radius or 8-block radius, we're going to come home with 15 or 20 leads, which we will then use SendViews to research, and then we'll input all of our leads into Delio. So I have title, I've got great properties, they are free and clear. I'm going to grab the titles off the printer, we know our drive route, we're going to go jump in the van, and the next time you see me, I'm going to be standing out in front of 1312 East Gordon Avenue. See you in a second. All right, so here we are now. We are in front of the property at 312 East Gordon. Now you can see that the property is in really good condition. It's got a new roof on it, vinyl siding. The grass is well manicured, landscaped. Everything on this property looks good. And it looks like the owner here is pulling up, so that's even more interesting. Now remember, this is the profile that we pulled And you know what? Let me go see if I can talk to the owner.
Keep your mic on.
Hold tight. So, I just spoke with Darlene. She's been here since 1979. Her and her husband bought the house, and they then bought the lot next door because they bought an RV. So when the neighbor was selling the lot next door, they thought, hey, let's buy the lot and we can park our RV over there, which they did. And sadly, shortly thereafter, her husband passed away and she sold the RV, just didn't want it anymore. Now, Darlene, as you guys could see, she's probably in her mid to late 80s, and she is adamant that she is not selling. So on the one hand, you could think, oh, well, that was a total waste of time. No. When you come out and you drive these properties, it is never a waste of time, because rarely is the house that we are going to look at the main opportunity. There's usually a better opportunity. Past this house as we were coming in, I wanted you guys to see it so I could show you what we're looking for when we're out here driving for dollars. Because it's not always just the properties we find when we're looking at Delio. Delio is what got us out here. But this is the kind of gold we're looking for when we get here. Now, this is 1329. You can see the house number, East Gordon, just down from that other house we were at. But it's got all of the things that we look for. You can see that the grass hasn't been mowed in a while. It doesn't look like it's been well watered. You can see the exterior paint looks really run down and worn. Everything about this house just suggests that it's got an owner that probably isn't real interested. Now, we don't know if it's owner occupied. We don't know if it's, we don't know anything about it. Now, if you don't have send views, unfortunately, all we're going to be doing is sitting out in front of this house wondering who lives there, when did they buy it, what do they owe. But fortunately, after today, you guys are all going to have send views, because as you'll see, you guys, you can't do this business without send views, and that's why it's included in the ultimate package. So I'm going to go real quick here into send views. I didn't want to waste time with research. I want to go straight to title. So I'm simply going to type in title 4, and then we're just going to put in 1329 East Gordon, and we're going to drop it in there. And it says, is this the correct address? And we're going to come back and say, yes, this is the correct address. And SendView says, great. And it's sending us the title work. So we go in here and we find 1329 East Gordon. Here it is. SendView has already sent us the title. And now I just open it up right here on my cell phone. This is the same property report that you guys saw on these other that we've pulled, so I don't have it in printed form because obviously this is drive-by house. But here's what we've got. This property is owned by Shaliv LI LLC, so it is a corporate-owned property. The owner has a P.O. Box mailing address, so this is not owner-occupied. It is a rental house. The person who owns this house bought it in 1995 for $71,000. They got a loan for $72,420. Now, 1995, that was well over 20 years ago. And it appears that the outstanding loan on this house is only about 12 grand. So this is so close to being free and clear, it's crazy. This is a 5,100 square foot lot built in 1911. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. We now know that it's a rental house. Got a loan from Washington Mutual. And I'm now going to go down here into the comps. You guys remember what the comps look like. I showed you these when we were back in the studio, right? So these are the comps. Now again, when you're out driving around in your car, you don't have the luxury of being able to just print these out. Fortunately, with SendViews, I can go right in here and look right at the comps, and here's what we find for this house based on the year built for the bedroom and bath count. Again, all arm's length transaction. This is a 1911 build, 1,000 square foot property. Based on our SendViews comps, this house has a fair market value of $180,000. Now, at this point, I need to track down the owner because I want to send him an offer. But the great thing about SendViews, you guys, I don't even have to deal with any of that. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to say write offer for, and I'm going to drop in the address. 1329 East Gordon Avenue, that's the house. And let's see if anybody's home. I love doing this stuff live because you just never know what's going to happen. Now, let me roll up the window so that they can't hear me. Now, some of you would be thinking, hey, I should go talk to that person that's knocking on the door. You don't want to do that. Thanks to Senfuse, you guys, we know that this is a tenant-occupied property. The worst thing you can do is go trouble the tenants or talk to the tenants. We don't need to talk to them. Senfuse told us who owns the property. We already know. We know that they don't live here. You do not want to go trouble the tenants and have a now angry property owner calling you and saying, hey, why were you talking to my tenants? Without Senfuse, how would we have known that this is non-owner occupied? That's why you got to have this tool. So Senfuse is saying, great, you want to write an offer for how much money? Now, the property fixed up is worth about $180,000. Now, I can tell you that I would want to buy that house for between $75,000 and $80,000. Okay, that's the price I need to be paying. But if you send an offer on this to the homeowner for $75,000 or $80,000, they're not going to call you. You've got to write offers that are going to get attention from the owner. So I'm going to write an offer for $140,000 cash. Now, how can I do that? Those of you that are getting involved with the Ultimate Package, you guys are getting the hands-off wholesaling program, you're getting the broker program, you're getting Delio.pro, you're getting Senfuse, and you're getting financing, you're getting capital backed from Coco Capital. When you write offers through Senfuse, every offer that you write is going to include a proof of funds letter for you for however much you want to offer on these properties. Now, for those of you that are completing the Funding Tour Challenge, which I talked to you earlier about, where you need to fill out the profile, you need to answer the imperative versus important questions, you need to talk to your BDC and have that 15-minute consultation. For those of you that do that, you will be getting proof of funds letters for $1 million when you go out and write offers on these properties. So this is a $140,000 offer. So when I write it, not only is Senfuse now going to send an offer directly to the owner of this property, not the tenant, but the owner, it's going to include a proof of funds letter as well. Okay? Now, we came out here to look at 1312 East Gordon. The woman who lives there says, I'm not interested in selling right now, which is fine. 3 houses away, we come across this property, which is in disrepair, non-owner occupied, almost 100% free and clear, and we've already written an all-cash offer and attached a proof of funds letter. Hands-off wholesaling is going to give you the tools you need to go out and find these types of properties. Senfuse is going to give you the ability to write offers on these properties, and without Delio, we would have never found ourselves in this neighborhood at all. Now again, if this owner doesn't want to sell, and he calls me and he says, hey, Lee, I got your offer, but I'm not interested in selling, I'm going to say, well, that's fine. I'm also a private money broker, because with the Ultimate Package, you guys are also getting signed up to become private money brokers. So when this owner calls me, he's going to do one of two things. He's either going to sell me the house, or I'm going to arrange financing so that he can get a cash out loan against this property so that he can take those monies and go buy other assets. Or, better yet, I can use my certification as a private money broker to help him get money out against this property, and then I could have him use those money to be my private money lender right there in your local market. Absolutely unbelievable and incredible. So we came out here to find this house, and we ended up finding this house. Now, we have one more property that I want to go see, and it's only about 4 blocks from here. So I'm just going to let the cameras roll while we drive over to this other property so that you guys can see some of the other properties that we're looking for, as well as possibly some other opportunities. Now, I have not been out into this neighborhood for some time, so I'm curious to see what's happened. But we're going now to see 544 East Gordon. Always, 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 you guys, put the next address into your GPS, even if you know where you are going. So I'm just going to type in 44 East Gordon, and there you go. It's 9 blocks away. So we're going to put that into our GPS, and we're going to start heading that direction. Now, as we're driving, I'm going to roll this window down just so you guys can see some of these other properties that we might encounter along the way. So I got to flip it around and head the other direction. Okay, so now we're back on Gordon, and this is going to be taking us in the direction we're now heading westbound. So the east numbers are going to start coming down. And check this one out right here. Just as we turned around. Look at this house, you guys. 1324 East Gordon. Now, this is another house we weren't tracking, so I'm going to write it down. So I've already written down that one over there, 1329 East Gordon. This is 1324 East Gordon. Here's 1324 East Gordon. And again, I don't know anything about it, so let's go to SendViews and see what we can find out. So I'm going to go into SendViews, and I'm just going to say Title 4, 1324 East Gordon. Spokane, Washington, 99207. And SendViews comes back and says, is this the correct address? And we're going to say yes. And it says, okay, processing title. And SendViews now says it has emailed me title, so let's go in and find it. So here we go. Here's title for 1324 East Gordon. Okay, so here's the property profile right here. And you guys can see that Thalia Kotke is the owner. Well, let's see what else we can find out here. It appears to be owner-occupied because the mailing address matches the site address. This is a 1907 build, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 5,100 square feet. Okay, so she bought it from the city of Spokane. No, let's see here. Oh, wow. Oh, very cool. Okay, so she bought it back in 2010 and got a loan from the city of Spokane, which means this was a low-income house. The city of Spokane gave her $10,000 to buy it. That $10,000 would have been to fix it up, and that loan was dated February 8th of 2010, which means that loan is over a decade old and probably doesn't owe very much on it anymore. So owner-occupied, you can see again it's in disrepair, kind of run down, and free and clear. No underlying mortgage. The loan to the city of Spokane is paid off, free and clear. Now, obviously, the comps are going to put us in the same number at $180,000. So I'm going to send her an offer too. So let's go into now SendViews. We just go back to SendViews, and we're going to say send offer for 1324 East Gordon, Spokane, Washington, 99207. Okay, and it says, how much do you want to offer? I'm going to offer $140,000 for this house as well.